It takes a lot for a movie to get under my skin, but Promising Young Woman did just that. I kept thinking back to it, and that's the sign of a great film, but also one that's got a lot of darkness, sarcasm, wit, and something to say. There may be some spoilery information here, but I'll warn you before that starts. The one thing I will caution you on, which isn't a spoiler, but something I feel needs to be said, this isn't really a horror movie, which is how it is coming across in the marketing. Instead, this is a hybrid of dark comedy and a psychological thriller. It will linger in your brain. Promising Young Woman follows Carey Mulligan as Cassie. She's a med school dropout and lives with her parents. This is due to an incident in med school that you find out more details about as the film goes on. Needless to say, the incident has left her with a vendetta and need to go out and lure guys by pretending to be blackout drunk. She goes home with them and teaches them a lesson. While doing this, she continues working at a local coffee shop, living a double life. Everything comes to a head when an opportunity arises for her to take the revenge she's been dreaming of over the years. While the movie has a healthy dose of feminism, it's more of taking the tropes of movies and stories you've seen countless of times and spinning those tropes on their head and using them to enforce how we don't pay attention or look away from some of the ugliest things in this world. The film uses some really gorgeous visuals to also play this out, using bright colors, pastels, and cinematography to surround Carey Mulligan's Cassie by these trappings, even though we the audience know just how dark her world is and how dark her view of it has become. Within the movie itself, we see your regular rom-com scenes of the meet cute, singing and dancing in the middle of a public place, a montage of a growing relationship. There's also nods to late 90s and early 2000 films where guys do horrible crap, and because we find it charming or funny that they are basically man babies who never grew up, it's all okay. Except for this movie. Being charming and funny doesn't give you a pass for being a scumbag. Oh, no, not at all. I wanted to point out something that I saw within the film that I may be imagining, but felt intentioned. Promising Young Woman, due to some of the shots used, the sets, and characters, made me think of a really messed up play on Jane Austen stories. You have the smart and beautiful young woman who lives with her eccentric parents, played here by the awesome Clancy Brown and Jennifer Coolidge, who simply want her to get her life back. You even have the young suitor come over for dinner and an awkward and charming exchange. Maybe I'm reaching, but it felt within here we were getting a mirror universe, blackly dark take on those stories where the dashing rogue manages to spoil the good name of a young girl with his actions, and everyone just figures it's all okay in the end. Here it most definitely isn't. I would say one of my favorite scenes in the film is when Cassie, carrying her cute heeled shoes, is walking home from the bar where she was hunting while eating a messy hot dog. She gets catcalled by some guys and stops and stares at them, not moving, not talking, just staring. They get unnerved and end up running away. Cassie removing her girl shoes is a theme, walking barefoot on a rocky path and taking the pain. It's a good metaphor for her character and what she goes through. The talent in front of the camera and behind it shows. The film is written and directed by Emerald Fennell, who co-produced the film with Margot Robbie. Co-starring alongside Carey Mulligan is Bo Burnham, Alison Brie, and Laverne Cox. Molly Shannon, Alfred Molina, and Connie Britton are also fantastic in their roles, with Molina being particularly great. So what I'm about to say next may be spoilery, but I feel it needs to be said. First, this movie may in fact trigger some things if you've ever experienced or know someone who's experienced an assault. But that's part of the point of the film, that it doesn't pull away from the trauma of not only the victim, but those who know the victims. So just a heads up, it is still very much worth watching if you can. Second, again, this isn't a horror movie. Promising Young Woman is a type of hybrid film that is probably hard to market for distribution companies. If you go into this movie thinking you're going to get a film with Carey Mulligan cutting guys' junk off or finding various ways to torture them to death night after night, which after the first trailer I was thinking that was the case before I learned more. No, that is not this film. But again, very much still worth watching. Lastly, I love that Cassie's outfit for the final act is the slutty nurse costume. She's always in a disguise when she's going out, dressing not as who she is, but the slutty nurse is the most extreme from what she is and who she was supposed to be. She was going to be a doctor, and the entire male fantasy of the slutty nurse is the perfect camouflage for what her plans are. Using these tools that are supposed to help lure a man in, but not for what they are expecting. The scene with Christopher Mintz-Plasse is particularly great. showing this. Carey Mulligan is amazing in this film. She's just fantastic and able to convey so much with a look. She won Best Actress last year at the LA Film Critics Association, and the film won for Best Screenplay. She's gone on to win a few more awards for her performance, and it is well deserved. Promising Young Woman is one of the best movies I've seen in a while, and I can't recommend it enough. It will make you think and will surprise you. And that's the point. Promising Young Woman hits streaming and theaters this Friday for a limited time.